We all go through things in life, and it seems it's not going to get better. Problems come and problems go. People talk about you, but you still grow. Whatever you want, you must get it straight from within and not listen to the distractions on the outside. You think people are supposed to be there to help you, and it seems in your mind everything is against you. Well, it's time to stand up from within right now on Real Issues.
It's Friday, y'all. This is Rahn, Anthony. It is Friday. We are in a great mood right now. We are. Even if you think that you're not, you are in a great mood. While you're sitting in your car, you're just frustrated. A lot of us get frustrated with all the things that are going on, but you know it's Friday, 4 p.m. It's time that we get ready for the weekend. Okay, so we worked all week long. We've been doing all this stuff. Now it's time to relax. So what I'm going to be talking about today is something that's going to help you. It's going to help you. So really, I'm going to be all over the place, but I'm going to be in place. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of things where you be like, oh, that's what I've been going through. Well, what I'm going to do today is really help you do better for yourself, because it's all about you still. It's all about still. Okay? S-T-I-L-L, still. Now that just came from somewhere, so we just gonna be still. All right, this is Ron Anthony and Real 1100 AM. Y'all make sure y'all check me out every Friday. Okay? Check out my music. RahnAnthony.com, RahnAnthoni.com. Okay, let's talk about this thing. The first, I'm going to go through this, and some of the things, I learn all this stuff as we go myself as well. So I'm going to be taking this from higherselfyoga.org. So I'm into all of that. So that's how I have to be, and it makes me a better person to know me, the higher self. That's the higher within me, the connection. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So here we go. Y'all know I do the little crazy stuff because that's just me. That's how I am. So y'all don't get mad at me. Don't get mad and want to say something. What is higher self? Okay. The higher self is an extension of yourself that is part of you and part of the source. That's God. Okay, that's the power of God. The ultimate higher power, the universal source of cosmic energy. This energy links us to everyone and everything. We are all interconnected through shared energy. Wow, that is so powerful. And as this universal energy, this higher consciousness is contained within each one of us, we can use the higher self to access this universal wisdom and knowledge from, like I always say, within. Everything is inside. The energy, the force. You can be mad. You can be sad. You can be happy. You can be glad. So we just want to make sure that we know that this is energy, what we're dealing with. So when you're speaking to someone else and you walk in a room and a lot, when you go in a room and they be like, I don't know what's wrong with her or what's wrong with him. That's an energy. And the reason why you can pick it up, because it's your higher self. And a lot of us don't know ourselves. When people say you got to know yourself. A lot of people say that and they mean like getting to know who you are. No, you really got to get to know yourself from within. The power, how you operate, who you are, what is talking. What is that talking? Why is this body out here? And what is that inside of me? What is it? That's the higher self. Once you know who you are and where you want to be, you'll likely find that there is a lot of work to be done to get to that place. This is difficult but fulfilling process that can facilitate some of the most important and satisfying changes in your life. The first thing we got to do. Now, I want everyone, if you don't do this, I got to tell you how to do this. We got to meditate. And meditation is something that just takes you out of your body. Absent from the body is present with the Lord. So the inner you can go sit before the throne of grace. How about that? So, but you got to know your higher self. When your mind is overactive, that means like you just been out working, just like now, you coming home, you getting off from work, or you going somewhere, people, the traffic is just backed up. I mean, it's so backed up. While you're sitting there, you can actually go into a meditation without closing the eyes, and you can just actually just sit there and just calm yourself down, because you got to put yourself in subjection. You got to do it. You have to do that. And the busier the mind is, the harder it is to focus. Relax. And most importantly, connect with your higher selves. The purpose of meditation is to quiet the mind so that we may turn our attention inward. And you have to be intentional to do this. You have to have intentions on what you're getting ready to do. So you intended to do this. Meditation is the most important practice to uncovering and assimilating our true inner self. It is the key to understanding and communicating with our higher power, inner wisdom, and ourselves, which holds the promise of inner and outer personal change. That's the only way that we're going to change. That's the only way. We got to shut yourself down. I tell myself, sit down and shut up. You get, just like when you mad at somebody, you telling them you really mean this. So you got to talk to the higher self, say, come on, help me. And you got to listen to the higher self. And you got to tell yourself, the outside, sit down and listen. Because that's what it means when you're putting your flesh under subjection to the higher self, because the flesh gonna run and do whatever it wants to do. It's not gonna listen. It's gonna be promiscuous. It's gonna do everything that it wants to do until you put it under subjection, because you got to do it to yourself. And when you meditate, that quiets all that stuff down. I got to pay this. Oh, Lord, I got to go do this. Lord, my car, I got to pay. Oh, my God. Oh, the lights. Oh, man, such and such mad at me. All this stuff is going on at one time. And you got to calm down. Calm down. Sit yourself down. Tell yourself you're going to sit down and you're going to cut that phone off. You got to turn it off, because you got to turn that stuff off. So you can, at least for 30 minutes. Come on, you could start with 15 minutes. You're worth a lot. So if you would start with 15 minutes, that's time for yourself. People think time for yourself is going, oh child, I'm going out tonight. I got to do this for myself. That's telling your flesh you getting ready to go party. Doing something for yourself is really doing something for yourself, not the flesh, for the inner self, because your inner self wants to talk to you. Your inner self been trying to date you for the longest, trying to get to know you, trying to be intimate, and trying to be inside with you, because that's what sexual intercourse really is. It's not the flesh and all the stuff. See, when all that goes on, it gets into a whole bunch of other stuff. But when you're intimate with yourself, you're inside of yourself. Think of that. Okay, let's use your imagination. You know what it means and what it feels like when you're sexually active with your mate. You know that. Okay, now picture yourself with the inner self, and you go in to yourself and get to know yourself. That's enter course. You're entering the course so that you can actually learn from the inside. Enter course. Because you enter meditation, you're going to be inside, and you're going to go through a course so that you can learn who you are and be able to put that flesh under subjection. That's why a lot of us get into relationships where the flesh is making this relationship. The outside is doing all of this, and we think it's right. We think it is so good. It feels so good on the outside, but it's tearing you up on the inside because the inside is waiting. You know how it is, you're longing for someone? That's what you're going through. You're longing for the inside. You want to have intercourse on the inside of you. Go inside. Go intercourse and listen to what the Spirit is saying to the church. That's you. Whew. I hope you get that. That's the way that you get into yourself. Now that's it. I can't explain it no other way. I've taken it from the sexual thing. Now we gonna listen to that. We gonna sit down and we gonna attention. We're gonna listen to that. That sexual. Oh yeah, we finna sit down because that's the flesh. The flesh is like, ooh, and you gotta get into yourself. That's what I'm saying, y'all, okay? So I had to put it that way so you can imagine. Now, you imagine what you've been doing. You know what you've been doing. Now, imagine going inside of yourself from within. We got to start thanking our heart. Thank you, heart. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you, eyes, for seeing. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, veins. Thank you, blood. Thank you, water. Those are the inside things. And when we start thanking our insides for what it's doing, then it's going to appreciate it. And then you're going to wake up the inner side. And then you're going to be able to be taught by your higher self. And once you get to know, once those two become married, man, everybody is thinking on the outside about marriage. And, okay, you get married on the outside, but you could never, and I know people are going to get mad, but you could never be one. You have to be one on the inside, and you have to be with somebody else that's one on the inside, because if they know themselves, you know yourself, then you two are going to have a meeting of the minds, and you're going to love yourself, because you're all energy, and that energy connects. You have good and bad energy. So once you get to know the inside of you, let me say that again, and then the other person gets to know the inside of them, then you can walk together because you both are having intercourse with yourselves. You're learning about yourself. You're learning how to love and learning how to handle the flesh and put it under subjection, so it won't just run rampantly out there, just doing and having all this stuff going on. You're having a lot of things going on the outside. Okay, it all what I mean that it all starts with meditation. It is the key to understanding and communicating with our higher powers, inner wisdom, and our higher self. That's what it's about. There are many different forms of meditation, but at its core, it simply requires sitting down in a comfortable place away from everyday distractions and quieting our busy minds for a short period of time. This can be done in a comfortable chair. There is no need to sit cross legs on the floor, all that stuff. I mean, you can do that. Well, I know I can't do it because my knee, I get all crossed up and can't even get up. So, you can lay down and, sometimes you may fall asleep. If you are new to meditation, start with 5 minutes increments. Okay? Take 5 minutes and get to know who you are. And all you have to do, now I want you to imagine this. Imagine yourself laying down in the bed. Just imagine you right now. Just imagine. Just do it with me. Imagine yourself laying in the bed. You're laying in the bed. And then you do some deep breathing from the inside. Like you breathe in and your stomach expands out. And you hold it. And then you breathe out. You do this maybe 10 times. I promise you, you'll get sleepy. And it'll take you into that meditation mode. When you get there, don't do your best to try not to fall asleep. But if you do, it's okay. Okay? But if you stay in that part right there, when you're right in that mist of that, whatever that is that take you and you feel so good and you just, oh my goodness, you feel like you're on drugs. And the reason why I say that because I used to take medicine and I hate that. And when you take medicine, it drugs you up. So you have that good feeling. You know, some of those drugs, like when I had you know what? Before you have surgery, whatever that is, that's the drug that I feel when I get to that sleepy part. And we all have this inside of us, but people make all this stuff and that's abusing all of that. But you can actually feel good with yourself as if the fake drugs out here, what people take, what they call recreational drugs, you'll feel better meditating because that's the real deal. All the fake stuff is something they made, they put stuff in it. All of that is just an outside thing. But you want to get on the inside because those I'm going to use drug because of what I've been through with the kidneys and heart and all that stuff I've been through. And they give you this medication, which is a drug. But I'm using that as a feeling when you get sleepy. You don't need that stuff and all this other stuff, the recreational drugs. You don't need that. So if you really want to get high, get to the higher self. You get it? If you want to be high, for all the people out there that smoke and do all of that, I'm not knocking any of that, but I promise you, you will get even higher when you get to know yourself on the inside because it keeps you there. It keeps you there. The stuff that they do on the outside, they do it and then, for a little bit and then that's it. And you got to keep doing it and you keep doing it. Well, this is going to keep you where you need to be. I'm telling you, I do it. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm on such a high all the time now because I've been practicing this. And now I get it. When something bad happens, I know it's just something that's happening that we say is bad, but really it's good. And then I learn from it, and then I'm better. But I'm already better. I just had to go through that because 9 times out of 10, I put myself through it. But I want to blame everybody else. So this is what the higher self does. It teaches you about you, what you do. Just like it teaches me about what I do. You get it? Let's go to some music. And I'll be right back. This is Rahn Anthony, Real Issues, The Grease on Real 1100 AM.
There was a time in life when things were all the same. But now control of man has made us feel the blame. What makes a man from a babe live so recklessly? It's from the teaching they say it's how it's supposed to be. So say what you want, be who say you want, what you live and follow your dreams. You can be who you are, you go very far if you let yourself be free. You can listen for free, learn to know your friend who will show you what to do. Fulfill every void, no to the noise. There's no one better than you. There will be times in life it seems you're on your own. That's when the time has come for you to be alone. Oh, one is what you need to meditate in peace. And now you have the strength to cancel your selfish needs. So say what you want, be who you are, live and follow your dreams. Live and follow who you are, you go very far if you let yourself be free. Listen from within, learn to know your friend who will show you what to do. Feel every point, no to the noise. There's no one better than you. So say what you want, be who you want. Say what you want your dreams to do. You know who you are, you go there. You know who you are. Listen from within, learn to know listen from within. You can hear. No to the noise. There's no one better than you. There's no one better. There's no one better, no one better than you. You know what to do. It's inside of you. It's inside of you. Say what you want, be who you want. Say what you want. Live and follow your dreams. Be who you want. Very far, listen from within, learn to know your friend, show you what to do. Show you what to do. To the noise, there's no one better than you. There's no one better than you. There's no one better than you, than you, than you.
Yeah, oh, man. Woo, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, we talked about meditation and all of that. Now, we got to find your vocation. Choosing the right career, your vocation, or a true calling. So really, you got to choose something that you love doing because you're there all day, every day. Okay, when you're somewhere working, you're there. So that's going to have to be a part of your evolving with your soul and all the things that you do because, just say you're working, I'm a artist, music, I sing, I do all of that. So I need to be somewhere in music, doing something that I'm going to love. If I'm entertaining people, even if you're an Uber driver, you're going to entertain people or if you're picking up people wherever you go and you have that personality, use it. I'm saying that because it doesn't matter what you do, but whatever you do, make sure it's something that's connected to your soul, meaning that you love it because you feel so good going in there. And, and even, just say, for instance, you're somewhere and you be like, Lord, I done been here and I don't like this job. You can change that. What I mean, change you, not change the job. Because if you have the higher self inside of you, you will adapt. Because that's why you have to have the intercourse inside of yourself so that you can go into training, have the course. You need a course on adapting to where you are. And right now, the outside don't like the place. I don't feel like getting up. I don't like the people in there. Those are a lot of the things that, we go through. So, intercourse. Go into the course. That would be the first session when you have intercourse within yourself to learn how to adapt to wherever you are. Because you got to change that. If someone there you don't like, you got to change it. For me, I go and start talking to them. Even if they mean, I'll probably, while I'm out getting something like just say something at Starbucks, I bring them something. Because it doesn't hurt to help. They probably thirsty. And you got to listen. Listen to when they're talking and what they like. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay attention and be intentional. You're intentional paying attention so that you can find out. So when you go to Starbucks, your intention is to go and get something for that person because you heard them say that they like it. And then that's going to break the ice just like that. Boom! Boom! Everything changed. That's what's going to happen. But we don't want to do it because the outside, I ain't finna do that. I ain't talking. She don't talk to me. And that's what we do because I've done that before. But I changed me, not them. I can't change them anyway, and I don't even need to think about changing them. If I feel that somebody is doing something that I don't like, then I need to change it. You got to think like that. If you feel that somebody is getting on your nerves, they always picking on you, they always saying something, they are bully, then you change you. You do it. Because if you waiting for them to change, it's not going to happen. Because first of all, you're the one that thinks that they need to change. They don't think so. Because that's them. So we got to start looking at things like that. And once we get, that job or whatever we have and we start loving it, then that's going to help us. Since most of us spend over a third of our walking hours at our jobs, it's essential that we choose a career that's aligned with our spiritual path. Those of us with a deep desire to help others can advance their progress with a career in medicine or social work. With creatively inclined can often find a fulfilling career in the arts, and even the mathematically minded among us can achieve spiritual fulfillment with a career in engineering or accounting, as long as you listen to your higher self when it directs you to your soul's truth vocation. You'll find yourself nurturing a deeper connection to your higher self every day of your career. Because you got to go within so that you can get to know the higher self. And if you're at a job right now and you don't like it, just go within. But if you are a great person, you change yourself until you get to your higher self. Change yourself. Start doing things that if somebody's getting on your nerve, like I said, start doing something for them. That's all. Help them. That's it. That's all you have to do. And now, nature and sunlight. That's another thing. As simple as the concept of spending time outside may seem on the surface, there are ways we can use nature, ancient wisdom to further our own spiritual journey. You can ground while you're outside. That means take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground. And sometimes put your hand on the ground because you got to get all that negative stuff off, out, whatever, away from you. That's why you have a car. Power, it powers it. Negative, positive, and ground. Even in your house is grounded to the ground. It's something about the ground. And another thing I wanted to say, and this happened to me today. I went into this store to get something and it started pouring down raining. So I just walked just like it wasn't even raining and just walked onto the car and got in the car. Because a lot of us, I can't get my hair wet. I got my clothes on. And no, you got to respect the power of God. That's nature. Try it. Because the reason why I say that, because when you go outside, just say you just cut your grass, beautiful, and it rained that night. The next morning, that grass is going to be grown right back up again. So if the rain is doing something to the ground, imagine what it would do to your ground. We don't know. So that's why I started just staying in the rain. I just walk out in the rain and just embrace it, take my time, and I'm going to see what's going to happen. Because if it does that, imagine what it'll do for me. And that's where I am right now with the nature. You see, and that's what's going to help us. These positive feelings from nature's vibration allows us to connect with our hearts and ultimately awaken the higher self. So when you're outside, that sunlight, that's the energy that's on the top of that crown, which is your head. And it sends that vibration through you because we are connected. The sun is actually inside of us. The moon is actually that big old belly we have. Some of them got a nice one, a little moon, the little crescent moon, and some of them got a big full moon. Now, I've seen some full moons out there, and I got a little full moon that I try to, and that means there's some good in that full moon. And so you got to look at it like that because that's what nature is. Take half an hour to sit in the sun, cover your head, and always wear some suntan lotion as best you can. Now, this is what they say. What I say, just sit in the sun. I mean, you can I'm not afraid of any of that. Sun energy is very calming and relaxing. Have you ever noticed when you're in the hot and out there in the sun, you get sleepy? Because that messes with the inside of you. But if you want to put the suntan lotion and all of that in, you can. But as for me, I just take it because it's according to your mindset. According to my mindset, the sun is doing me good. So I just sit out there in it. And that's what we need to do. But it's according to your faith and what you know that you should do. Because it's just say you did what I'm saying and you don't really believe it. You're probably going to get a sunburn. But if like with me, or, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going with the intention of getting a sunburn. That's what I'm saying. Okay? And so, here's something we got to do too. Strengthen your intuition. Do you sometimes feel like your gut is trying to tell you something? That I'm talking about that big moon you got. I told you it's on the inside, that moon. So if you feel that it's trying to tell you something, you can't quite put your finger on it. Okay, that's the intuition. And you got to listen. Listen. And when you listen, believe me, that something told me to tell you something, and that something told me to do that. That's what we're listening for. And you need to start getting to know that. That we always say, ooh, something told me. Something told me. And you got to start listening to that. Because really, that's how I started. And I said, let me see. Because it's kind of hard to follow instructions when that something tell me voice come. Because everything is so, your thoughts and you're so busy and all this stuff is going on. That's why you have to meditate so that you'll be able to hear that something told me. It's really what the Spirit is saying to the church. But I'm saying that something told me because we always say that something told me. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we must do. Now, in a society that largely values only what can be rationally or empirically, I got these words now, empirically explained, it's no surprise that many of us ignore or repress the rather abstract sixth sense of tuition. And we ignore it. That says something told me. And a lot of other things that we have. We have the sixth sense of intuition. We know. So we just got to listen because it's speaking all the time. It's not a negative reflection of us. It's simply how most of us have been raised in Western society. But as a result, we may sometimes feel as though we're only working with a piece of our power instead of the full scope of hidden knowledge available to us. Really, it's not hidden. It's in you. You just got to listen. Listen to what the Spirit is saying to the church. This is Ron Anthony. Let's take a break, get some music, and and let's just continue to do this. All right? This is Real Issues. And right now, I'm giving you the grief.
No justice! Breonna Taylor's life?
Oh, man. This is crazy. Jesse, do you think they're going to release those tapes?
Felton, I don't believe the police is going to release those tapes until they get their lies straight. Father, we got a lot of racism down here, and we need some help down here. They trying to change the laws down here. Young people dying before the age of 21. Dante Wright brought down by some fool with a gun. The police, and then they lie when they file their report. You see, you're already guilty by the time you come to court. Nowhere to run, nowhere to run, George Floyd, nowhere to hide. The pain inside. Oh, Father, we having trouble. We having trouble down here. Oh, we got some real problems down here. Father, no equal justice down here. We need a change down here.
And I executed by being there were 4 officers.
Drive-by shooting, gang banging, purse snatching, and kidnapping, carjacking, babies on crack. Father, tell me what you gonna do about that. Nowhere to run. I'ma do the yellow. Nowhere to hide. The pain inside. We having trouble now. I know you got a way to solve it. Father, only you can do it. We need some justice down here. We need some justice down here. Ration rules. People laid off their jobs, and they can't pay their rent. So many homeless people, because their money has already been spent. Oh, Father, Elijah McClain down here. We need your help down. Oh, Father, ooh, we need some help down here. Right here, right now. Ooh, Father.
Please, I can't breathe. Please, man. I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my leg.
Ah, yeah, that is Jesse James. Y'all remember, I Can Do Bad All By Myself. That's Jesse James paying tribute to all the things that's going on with our young kids. You know, with the killing and all the things, the police brutality, all of that. So you all need to really support Jesse James. You can pull him up, that song. I'm telling you, man, it's so much going on out here. And that's why I'm here to try to get people to meditate and work with your heart. That's the next thing I'm talking about. Wisdom traditions tell us that there is some knowledge that cannot be found through intelligence, but through surrender and experience. It is only through surrender to the heart that we discover our high knowledge. It's through the heart. So that's the intelligence, because the heart, it's just, you will actually know who's who from their heart. You listen to what people are saying. Listening to your heart's wisdom is essential to progressing in your spiritual journey and developing a deeper connection with the higher self. With the heart, when the heart is open, we become capable of the compassion, kindness, openness, and honesty we long to have shown back to us in our daily lives. So you learn all these things. You remember when we used to say, now I don't know her number by heart. You remember that? Now, man, you push one button and you don't even know the number of the person by heart. And that's what we got to stay with. And, I've been doing that. I know people numbers, because even when I first was born back when I was a little baby growing up and 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, I still remember my mother's number, 7463037. My grandmother's number, 7464185. I remember all of these things. I remember that because that was from heart. It just pops up. And that's where we need to be now, because there's so much intelligence going on the outside when the intelligence is really on the inside. So let's go home. I've said that plenty of times before. Let's go home. Cultivate positive speech and thought. As part of our journey to connect to our higher self, it is important that we remain conscious of what we say and think. It is within our lower nature to sometimes gravitate towards negative speech and thoughts. Because, see, that's the lower self. That's when you cussing folks out, you're mad, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. You really don't want to do that, because your mind is where everything is. And that's where a lot of things is that's positive. So don't get piece. Don't give a piece of it away. You keep that. So, and that's just, when we say all those things, that's the lower self. Lower. That's the lower frequency. That's when it takes you down into depression. That's where all that stuff is. In the lower thoughts, the lower speaking, the lower tone, the lower dimension, all of that stuff. That's the lower. You want to stay in the higher self, because, see, there's a lower self, the middle self, and there's a higher self. You want to always be on the higher self, and you got to grow to that part. And you can change it overnight if you just stop what you're doing. If something comes up, look, I ain't doing it, and keep moving. Now, you can change it just like that, but it's a lot of struggle that we go through because of ego. And that's what a lot of us go through. We have an ego, when really you can just stop it just like that. If you feel depressed, get out of it. We got an ego because some people like to feel the lower frequency. People like to curse. People like to fuss and get back with you, and I'm going to tell you off. People like that. I'm telling you. And so you have to really want to not like that, because that's what a lot of people really like to do. Really, for real. And so we don't really want to get into all of that, because that's the lower frequency. We want to stay high. Self-reflection. Okay? Woo! Self-reflection. Whatever path you take to deepen your relationship with your higher self, you won't receive the full benefit of your training without regular and honest self-reflection. It's essential that we regularly take a step back and think about the progress we've made and where we can improve. You got to know that you're wrong, and you got to improve that. Much like meditation, this is the best achieved in a state of quiet, relaxed contemplation. The goal here is not to be self-critical or harsh, but simply to understand how your journey is progressing. I'm going to say this: anytime that you are moving forward, some stuff going to happen. And you got to always know, oh, that's just happening. I'm still moving forward. And continue to keep that mindset that you're going. You're not stopping, you're going. Ask yourself, what practices have been the most helpful and how they've helped me move you forward on your path. By the same token, consider which practices have been the least helpful? Is it because of the way you're going about them, or do you simply need to replace them with different practices? You got to stay focused. And I hope you got that. Stay focused, because these things are going to come. They're going to come when you're moving toward your destiny, your light. When you're moving toward that, things are going to come. Things are going to happen. But you got to remain focused and tell yourself, I am not doing that. Tell your flesh self, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. And you don't do it because you have that power. It's you. You're the one that has the power, not the flesh. The flesh don't have nothing but what you give it. If you give it, it's going to take it because it's on automatic. You take it away, it's going to release it because you decide. The ego, you have to let your ego go. Ego, let it go, be gone. And that's what we all have to do in this life. We have to let our self-flesh, the selfish, self-flesh, let that go. Don't be self-flesh, because that's the flesh. Be selfless. And that way you'll begin to be who the higher self has chosen you to be, which is the power of God that's within you. And you can be that. You can be the power that is within you because it was given to you. The power of God, the same power that Jesus has. You got it. It's in you. But you have to make that decision. When things come your way, make a decision to send it back. If somebody get on your nerves, send that back. Don't send the person back. Send that energy back. Put that energy in the place where it's supposed to be, because you can speak to that energy without even saying anything to the person. You can do that because you have that same power. You can speak those things. You can say it, be gone. Jesus said it, be gone. And it will leave. But if you don't say anything, it's going to stay right there, seeking and looking and waiting until you slip up. And when you slip up, that's it. You're going to go through all this stuff, and sometimes it's real hard to come out of that. You don't need to get in it in the first place. So if you see that it's coming, speak on it. No, I'm not doing this. No, I will not curse them back. No, I will not hit them. No, if somebody hit you, you don't have to hit them back. You don't. Automatic will knock the mess out of you. But if you can stop and think in the midst of all of that, you don't have to hit them back. You know why? Because it won't get to that point. Because you have already seen what's going to happen. Because you will discern what's going to happen before it happened, and you will get up out of there. Because you don't want to end up in jail. You don't want to end up killing somebody, and you don't want to be killed. So when you start listening to the higher self, you're going to be able to do all the things that you need to do from within. And you will not hurt yourself. You will not hurt others. You will love. You will do all the things that you need to do. You won't go through all of the stuff that you know that you go through on your own. Because a lot of the things, we know what's going on. We know that we messed up. We know that we do things. We know we steal. I'm talking to the ones that do. You know you do that. You know it. You know you lie. You know? And I say me too. Not just you. We lie. And all we got to do is, when it comes, stop it. Just like that. When a lie getting ready to come, stop it. Because really, you don't have to say anything. If you're getting ready to lie, you don't have to say anything. You don't owe anybody no kind of explanation, because whatever you do is between you and the power of God that is within you. I'm telling you, you don't have to do nothing. Just like in court, you don't have to say anything. You won't get in trouble. You don't have to talk. Anything you say will be used against you. So you really don't have to say anything. You could sit there all day and don't open your mouth. They ask you a question, you don't have to say anything. You can say, I plead the fifth, or you can just say, I just don't want to talk. And that's it. And be nice about it, because no one can make you do anything. It is your choice to decide first if you want to do it. Just like now, it is your choice to decide if you want to do this. And if you want to do it, do it. And if you don't, don't. And continue to go in the circle that you're going in. That's it. That's all you have to do. This is Ron Anthony. I really appreciate you. Make sure you check me out. Make sure every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune in so I can give you the grease on real issues. This is Real 1100 AM. I appreciate Real 1100 AM just for being here for humanity, for uplifting. You need to check out all the shows. Check out the site. Check out real1100.com. Check it out, because there's a lot of things on there that you need to look at and listen to. Okay? You look and see who I am. Y'all see me? You can look and see who I am. Check me out, RahnAnthony.com, RahnAnthoni.com. Make sure you donate. You can Cash App to the $ RONALDHATCHER. This will go for They Can't Talk, But We Can. And what I do there is help the special needs community. You can check out the site, theycan'ttalkbutwecan.org. Okay, check it out. I'm going to start getting back into special needs rock because of COVID. All that just stopped, man. We had it going on with special needs rock. Please donate for special needs rock. Okay, please you can go to PayPal, and that's theycan'ttalkbutwecan@gmail.com. Just like it says, no hyphens, they can't talk, but we can @gmail.com. This is Ron Anthony. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. Always listen to the spirit that is within you and stop what you're doing if it's wrong. I'm out, y'all.
I hope you enjoy this show and you feel good about yourself, because you're it. If you ever want to give up, stand up from within and know that you can make it no matter what anybody says, no matter what the gossip is talking about you, no matter when the bills come. Always remember that you are it. Live from within. Know that God lives within you and not on the outside, and you can make it. Tune in every Friday p.m. 1100 a.m.